Uh, And welcome back, everybody. This is Movies and Beyond, and this is our review of Blue Beetle. I'm joined today by sexy motherfucker Kyle. Kyle, how we doing? Nice Italian, or is that? No, I don't want to say what that is. Right. First things first. We did our out of the theatre review, reaction, whatever you want to call it. I don't think we like this film as much as most people, but I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it. Just, what are your quick thoughts on it, Kyle?
I think you like it. I think I was liking it when we were watching it. I was like, I can tell that I'm probably enjoying this a bit more than Callum. And then when it sort of just when it came to the end and we came out of it, it started to feel like I'm starting to not regret liking it, because that's a bit stupid, but I'm not liking it as much as I thought. It felt like it was like building up, yeah. and then when like my overall thoughts of the film is a bit like
It didn't go where you were thinking it would.
No, it especially with how it was sort of built up, and I went into this film. So are we just going into the review right now?
Yeah.
So I went into this film fully knowing that this was like on a smaller budget and it was made for TV, for a streaming service. And you know what? It felt like it. It honestly felt like a long episode at times of a show. And the special effects were okay. They were fine. I'd say they were a little better than Flash at some points. The suit looks awesome. The design is awesome. Our friend who we went to go see it with, he pointed out that when he's just there, the suit was very flimsy, like the armor pieces. Do you know what? It's the same thing they did with Master Chief in the Halo show. His suit is too plasticky, flimsy, which kind of it takes it away from the film a little bit. The action was pretty good. It just didn't look that good, but
I liked it, especially the hallway fight.
Yeah, the hallway fight was great. It was quite dark, though, I will admit, but I mean, it is on a budget, so fair enough. But it did, I agree. The ending fight, I like it because it felt like a very video game-esque boss fight.
It reminded me of Iron Man. That end boss fight.
A little bit, yeah. It reminded me of like something you see in these, mech video games and stuff, where it's just like, it felt like someone was controlling these characters, and it felt very video game-ish. And depending on how you view it, it could be a good thing or a bad thing. I think it was a cool thing. It was definitely flashy. There wasn't many big set pieces, I'll admit. There's a set piece where it's literally on a street with a car, and then that's it. And you get like the mechanized suits. Fully aware, again, like I said, it's on a smaller budget. Towards the end of the film, like I'd say, like when it gets to the middle, I think it's as soon as he gets the suit, it no longer becomes sort of Blue Beetle's story. It's like Blue Beetle is a side character, and the family kind of are the main characters. And I'm like, I get it, family is important, and they make that very clear in the film, but it's, it is called Blue Beetle because it's meant to be Blue Beetle. And I liked his origin story. I liked the whole thing of he's working and he gets fired and he wants money and he's stuff like that. And it's different.
I liked the family dynamic. I did.
I liked the fact, yeah. But it was just, there was no personality with Blue Beetle. Especially with the whole thing of when he finally clicks with the suit and he connects with it, and I
just say this right now. If people want to see this, should have gone out and seen it this weekend.
Yeah.
So, spoilers if you want, mate. Fucking.
Alright, okay. I mean, this wasn't really much of a spoiler, but obviously when he first gets the suit, he doesn't really understand it, and it's kind of doing its own thing, and it's like, oh, it's sentient, but it's like not, and it's really weird. And then at the end of the film, he's like, oh, his brain waves have intertwined with the suit and the let's call it an AI, if anything, because it didn't feel at all like a sentient being. It felt more like it felt more AI than Jarvis in that.
Yeah, definitely.
So you know, when they show like, oh, he's connected with it, it will like he's not had that thing of like talking to the AI or anything. It's not like Venom does that really well, where he's like he's got this extra being a part of his body now. It's like a second mind, and he's not agreeing with it. He's not getting along with it. And then at the end of the film, they both just sort of work together and they go really well. And it feels like this movie did that without the whole he's got this other personality he has to deal with. It just feels like he's got a suit that does whatever the fuck it wants with no real meaning. But yeah, all in all, I'd say give it a watch. I'd say maybe go to the cinema and see this. If you are going to the cinema and you want to go see something.
Well, I would preach go see any film in the cinema. It's obviously the best way to see it.
Yeah.
But I got two things I want to say. Two things. A lot of boner jokes. Which,
way too many.
I mean, I like a good boner joke. And two, this film possibly had one of the worst storytelling elements in it right at the end that I've seen this year in the cinema. And that is when, he's beat, what is it, the Almec? And he's above him.
Like that.
Yeah, he's above him and he's about to kill him. And, the suit stops him and goes, oh, we're not killers. And it's like, let me show you. Because the suit took his memories as well when they merged the suits together. And it shows you all of his past and, everything he's been through. They usually do say in stories, show us, don't tell us. But an exposition dump like that, right at the end of the film. You're supposed to have these emotions of feeling for the character while the fight's happening. Look at Wenwu and Shang-Chi. Great villains like that. You already know what they've been through. When it gets to that final fight, and you feel for both sides, but he was just a no-name soldier right up until that last moment. So apart from that, like, I think that was like the worst bit of storytelling I've seen this year. But
I'll say this as well as a movie. It's not paced well. The beginning bit I feel like could have been edited down, and it could have been a lot more quick paced. Because I'll be completely honest, I was just waiting to see the Blue Beetle. I mean, I'm interested in the character of is it Jamie? How do you say it? Jaime. Yeah. So I'm interested in the character, but it was just like there was no personality with him. So I was kind of like, I don't really care.
I think he had a personality, and I thought Zolo Moderna was great in the role, and I do want to see him in the role again. But I think, like we said, on the Out of the Theatre, he wasn't in his own film enough. I think it's just after the second act, and he gets...
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, there was a bit of personality at the start of the film, and when he gets the suit and things like that. Yeah, I can see that, but there wasn't enough there to kind of... he whips out a big, sword from, like, Final Fantasy or whatever, and it's like, where the fuck did that come from? Like, we don't know he's into games or anything. Show us a bit of cool things that that he likes or whatever. Because it just felt like, he's got a bit of a personality, but it wasn't very interesting, and there wasn't anything really there. It was quite,
right.
Every character has a certain level of personality. I just wish we had a lot more when it came to his character, because it just felt like, he's we see a little bit and then that's it, and then he's in the suit and he's just all about protecting his family constantly. The uncle was great. I thought, I'll be completely honest, looking at the trailers and some parts in the film, some of the jokes didn't hit with me. But some of the jokes did. I did like them. I thought it was a great addition. The whole love relationship is just shite. I've seen.
Yeah, it's not a strong suit, is it, in comic book films? Romances. There's only a few that stand out. That are like, all right, that works.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what, right? And this is what I was getting to before we started filming. I felt like it was on the line of, you remember the 2003 Daredevil? So I was meant to finish Daredevil, the the Netflix series now on Disney Plus. I have 2 episodes left on it. I've finished it now, but I had 2 episodes left on it, and we were going to watch it last night. We didn't because
I bet as a joke you was like, let's watch the film.
yeah, as a joke, we we're too tired. We were ready to go to sleep. And we just Zara said, let's just put on the other Daredevil then, if you're gonna just put some on just to kind of fall asleep to. We watched the whole fucking thing because of how bad it was. It was so bad. It was great. It was just. It was one of those things. I was like, oh my god, this is like.
Anyway, Kyle, Blue Beetle.
Wow. Yeah. With that, that's what I'll get into. Is his all that it's same as Daredevil in that movie. It's just very they kiss and then it's they have one scene together and then they kiss.
Yeah. It's like, oh wow, we love each other now, and I've got a boner.
One thing I will say, I'm not saying Blue Beetle is a better movie than Daredevil.
I'd say
Daredevil film.
I'd say it is.
What Blue Beetle is better? No, I mean the other way around. Sorry, Daredevil isn't a better movie than Blue Beetle. Sorry, but it is. If you haven't gone back and watched that film, it's something else. It's definitely a movie of its time.
Yeah.
But so the pacing wasn't there for me. It felt like it dragged more than anything. There was no very click to it. It didn't. It felt like the story was kind of meh, and the whole corporate woman thing. I don't know. Her auntie. I like that there was a bit of depth there. I just didn't see. It was very inconsistent. 1 minute, when she steals the scarab and she's her niece is escaping with Jamie.
Jaime.
I keep forgetting his name. When they're escaping in the car and stuff, it's just very she's shooting. She's sent soldiers after her niece, and then willing to shoot her. And then she's like, "Oh, I'm not going to shoot you. Capture her, and then I'm going to be in this chopper with you. I'm going to take you up in this chopper, and now I'm going to shoot you." It was just all over the place. It was like, are you a evil bitch, or are you just kind of, I think it would have been much better if you was all on board with trying to convince her. I would have been a bit more she's making a bit of sense. She was kind of pushed aside, and her brother got the company, and then she was trying to convince her niece. Just very much, she was trying to convince her and trying to shoot her at the same time. So
yeah, I think my overall thoughts on this is, I do like it. I think it's an okay film, and it's a lot of stuff that's been done better in other areas. That's what it feels like. A lot of it's like you could look at this film and go, oh, well, that did that bit better. That did that bit better. It doesn't really break the mold anywhere and define itself as its own thing.
Could have done. Yeah. I was honestly hoping it would be a Homecoming-esque film where it was, but it I didn't even realise when I sent you that video about it being compared to Ant-Man. Go watch Ant-Man instead. I'll be completely honest.
It's like
it's the same.
Ant-Man.
It is beat for beat Ant-Man. It's got a character superhero that's based on an insect. It's about super tech suits. I mean, the only way that it's differentiated is that the suit is alien. But, even then, it's still a bit.
Right. Anyway, what would you give this out of 10? Right.
The more I think about it, the more I'm starting to dislike it. I did like some parts of it. I did smile in the film. It did make me laugh. It did make me smile at some parts. I'm going to give it I'm being generous here. I'm giving it a 6.
Right. I'm going to go about 6.5. For me, it just didn't break the mold or do anything new. So, you know, not that it has to. It can follow the superhero formula. It's just, you know, if you're going to follow that superhero formula, do it well.
Here's the thing, though. Like I said, we have to take into account that this is on a very much smaller budget
Yeah.
compared to the other films like Flash and stuff. I still think I agree. I think Flash is better than this film, which I didn't expect to come out saying.
Yeah, I think Flash is better as well.
So, you know, but here's the thing though, like, you can't do a film about Blue Beetle. I get it, he's a smaller. Look at Iron Man. Iron Man was a very character, and you know, with Blue Beetle, it's kind of the same thing. He's Spider-Man with a nanotech. You know, he's a teen with a nanotech Iron Man-esque suit that's alien and superpowered and stuff. You can't do that on a small budget. You know, you just can't do it. You know, it definitely needed the bigger budget. I think it would have helped the film, not just because of the action was very quick and kind of went. I mean, it was good. It just would have helped build out certain things.
Well, I think realistically, even though I didn't like the film, I think Blue Beetle is a character that services other characters well. You know.
Yeah, but I think he could have stood out on his own. There was elements of that, but because of it just being very shortcoming, it would just kind of, he fell off to the side. He ended up becoming a side character in his own film, which is like, you know, realistically, it should have. If anything is a side character, it should be the suit and the being inside.
What's
you know,
that in background, Kyle?
What?
What's that in background? The noise?
Not nice.
Oh, it sounded like your mum.
What, the dog? I do a serious review here, Callum.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, right. Anyway, I think that'll do us. I think you should go out and see Blue Beetle if you haven't seen it. Go out and see it. I think we're going to get a lot of, I don't want to say hate, but I think we're going to get a lot of people disagreeing with us about this film. I know a lot of people are liking it. A lot of people saying it's saved DC. We'll see what happens tomorrow when the box office comes in.
Let's be honest, it doesn't fucking matter what this film does. It could do really well or do really bad. It doesn't matter. It's being placed in the. It's being played like you said yesterday when we came out of the cinema. I was saying it's in a dead universe, so it doesn't. Nothing really. You know, there's a little bit at the end where it's like the still alive somewhere. It's like, you know, and then our friend we went to go see it with, he asked about it, and I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, you won't see the end of that.
No.
You know, I said it's in a dead universe now. If you know, and I was explaining what I meant by that is that, like, say, like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is in a dead universe because they're not continuing it anymore. And then you turn around and said it's more alive than this one. And you know what? Yes, it is, because we're getting Tobey back hopefully again. But yeah, no, this is
this is summer. Anyway, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of Blue Beetle, because we like to see different perspectives on things, you know. If you like it, we don't like it. That doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't mean, you know, we're wrong. Just different opinions. That's what it is.
Exactly.
We're movie fans. So yeah, let us know. Let us know what you thought of the video. And as always, let us know what you think of Kyle's face. Like, subscribe, share, show us to your mother, all the good shit. And we will see you guys tomorrow.